Are we going into recession or what?
Well, Treasurer Jim Chalmers says we aren't, but politicians never ever concede that's even a possibility. American Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is particularly paranoid about the R word.
We don't use that word in here.
She knows that an economy is in recession when it contracts for 2 consecutive quarters. She knows that's just happened in the US, but she's in denial about it and has come up with a new definition. She doesn't have much science to back her stance, it's more of a feeling.
Feel that, Alan? Huh? That tingling in your balls, big metal butterflies floating around your stomach?
Are you sure you don't have testicular cancer?
Janet says recessions are characterised by layoffs, business closures and a slowdown in spending, and that's not happening in the US at the moment. The economy, she says, is in a state of transition.
I guess you just don't realise how clueless the system really is.
And most West Australians reckon Jim and Janet are full of crap. 56% of sandgropers say the economy will go backwards very soon.
So if the usual definition no longer applies, how will we know if a recession is happening?
There are some quirky clues about what's in store for the economy. One of them is how many times the word recession appears in the media.
And I don't want to hear about the f***ing economy either. I don't want to hear it.
The R-word index is a thing. It was invented by the economist in the 1990s. They used it to accurately call real-life recessions in 1990,
can't touch this. Look in my eye.
2001, and 2008. The men's underwear index was pioneered by former US Federal Reserve boss Alan Greenspan. He thought blokes put off buying new DAX when times were tough, and it proved true in the GFC and the recent COVID recession.
And do you wear these yourself?
I don't wear underwear.
The champagne index is an obvious one. In the 80s in New York, consumption peaked right before the 87 stock market crash, and then everyone was back on Prosecco. The lipstick index was created in the early 2000s when Estee Lauder boss Leonard Lauder noticed sales of lippy went up when the economy went down. He surmised that women, and some men, spent more on little treats to make themselves feel better when times were tough.
Really?
It's a thing. Data analytics firm NPD tracks 14 discretionary retail spending categories, and beauty products are the only ones that go up during a recession.
Julie Bishop's sorted then.
She is.
Of course.
The hemline index has been around since the Great Depression. Skirts get shorter when things are good and longer when bad.
Good morning.
The cardboard box index isn't about how many people are living in them. It's how many are being used to transport manufactured goods. It's a measure of industrial output.
Okay, I'm not going to make it.
And the tech hiring index monitors how many nerds are being laid off at any given time.
I just got fired.
Well, that's all great, but you haven't answered my question.
About whether or not we're going to recession. I didn't because I don't know. And even if I did, I wouldn't tell anyone because I'd be investing my billions on my super yacht surrounded by supermodels.
Thanks.
Look, China's facing off against the US over Taiwan because Nancy Pelosi's visiting. Putin's fingers are on the button in Europe. Inflation is through the roof and interest rates are being jacked up faster than in the lead up to the recession we had to have in the 1990s. The commercial property sector has just hit the skids, and 1 in 3 families are so cash strapped they couldn't find $4,000 if there was an emergency. According to the hemline index, we should all be wearing burqas. Despite all that, unemployment remains at a record low.
At least everyone's job is safe.
Regardless of how much you up. We're spending record amounts on Eggs Benny at cafes, the skimpies at Diggers and Dealers in Kalgoorlie are making fat stacks, and Lamborghini can't make their cars fast enough to fill Ford orders.
I myself have 18 Lamborghinis and a Subaru station wagon.
So who knows what's going on? There's only one certainty in the next few months.
What two businesses have traditionally been recession-proof since time immemorial?
Certain aspects of show business and our thing.
Now that's it. That's all I gotta say. Frankly, I'm depressed and ashamed.
I'm Ben Harvey. For more Up Late, click the subscribe button below.